Yo, what's good, real ones? It's Levon. You already know who it is. Welcome back to my channel, and I'm here to drop another gem on y'all today. So in this video, I wanted to talk about a topic that I briefly covered in a previous video. I think it was maybe about 2-3 videos ago. I was talking about how men and women are losing themselves in their natural masculinity and femininity, and the necessity of both in the world, you know. And during that video, I went into an aspect of femininity, which is submission. And so that's what I want to talk about today, because a lot of women, when they hear that word, it's like a cuss word. If you say, oh, I want you to be submissive, it's like you damn near cuss them out, right? And how do we get there though? Because submission is not a bad thing, right? And I'm gonna give you guys my take on submission and what I think it is and how I've experienced it in my life and why I believe it's beneficial, and that's something that we should try to get back to, right? So I think in every relationship, a woman should submit to her man. I said it. Come for me. I mean, say what you gotta say. I think in every relationship, a woman should submit to her man, period. However, there is a caveat to this. I don't believe that every man is worthy of submission. So I say that to say, if you are to get into a relationship, into a situationship with a significant other, to someone that you deem worthy, I mean, that you find attractive, it should be someone that you deem worthy of submission. Now, why is this important? It's important because for things to work smoothly, from what I've witnessed in my life and what I've several accounts from other people's situations, it seems the most natural that things fall in line when the man is leading the relationship, right? And time again, it seems like things always fall to the wayside or don't work out, or things become toxic when the female is the one that's leading the relationship. And I don't blame, before I get into that, having masculinity and femininity is vital for a relationship to thrive, correct? I think we can all agree on that. Even if you look at gay couples or LGBTQ couples, whatever, there's almost, there's almost 100% of the time gonna be a more masculine or dominant or a more submissive partner in that relationship. It's just the laws of nature. That's just how the world works. No one intentionally tries to do it. It's just how things play out. And I think we're about to have a thunderstorm here in a second. But the thing is, as one increases, the other decreases. I mean, one brings out the other more, right? So if I'm a more masculine and dominant partner, I'm probably gonna attract a partner who's more submissive, right? And the juxtaposition of the two is essential. And so the thing is, as leaders, naturally, men as leaders, right? It falls on us. I can't be mad, and this is what I was about to say before, I can't blame females for finding themselves in a position where they're the ones leading the relationship and then they're unhappy, because a lot of men have become weak and they're not in positions to lead a partner. They're not even leading their own lives, right? And so it's on us first and foremost, if we want to get things back to how they are. Because I mean, it's easy for me to get on here and say, oh yeah, women should do this, women should do that as a man, you know, but I can freak my arm. I can understand that I haven't lived life as a female, and there's a lot of things from y'all's perspective that I probably just don't I won't understand. However, if we initially as men first, because the masculine follows feminine, masculine leads and feminine typically follows after, it's on us to develop that strength, to develop the foundation and in our manhood, right? And getting to a place, to focus on getting to a place where we have some kind of vision, we have some kind of direction for our lives. And then it's way more likely that someone would see that going on with us and they'd be willing to step into that, and willing to, not that women don't have any kind of say, but they'll be willing to give up some of their control, some of their, I guess, authority to a figure, a more authoritative figure that knows what they're doing, you know? So before I get into my personal experience and how I've seen the contrast of being the weaker guy with a more dominant and leading partner towards one of my more recent relationships where, where I was the one leading all the interactions and my partner was the one who was being extremely feminine, extremely submissive. Before I get into all that, I just want to speak on the word submission, because from a man's perspective, or at least from my perspective, I think a lot of females, and this is why this word is just so taboo, I think a lot of females believe when we say submit, we mean control. Like we mean like tower over, like loom over, and we want to manipulate and, you know, just kind of what's the freaking word, micromanage like every single thing that our woman is doing, or, you know, the whole entire relationship. And that's really not what we want. I'm sure there are some toxic guys out there that would love nothing more than that, but if you're talking to a healthy guy, that is not what it means to be submissive. And I don't think we should use someone who is unhealthy, their views of it, because that's gonna throw everything askew. And I think that's why we're where we're at now with the whole concept of submission. Anyways, I digress. So when I think of the word submit, I don't think of control. I think of just more like a willingness to be led, you know? That being said, like if I have an idea, if I have something that I want to do and I bring that to you, it's not that you don't have a say in the matter, right? I'm not taking your voice away. I don't want to like control every aspect of your life, and I also don't want you to just 100% agree with me all of the time, you know? I still want you to have your thoughts, your opinions. You bring your whole side of the relationship and the things that you have to offer to the table, right? And in a different perspective as well. And so I don't want to mute or put a damper on that stuff. I just want I just think that my initial thoughts, my suggestions, that stuff should be paramount. And then what you have to say is like, all right, you know, we'll take that into consideration. And that could alter my initial decisions or my initial thoughts and whatnot. Cool. And outside of that, I mean, if you just think generally, right? Most women, at the end of the day, they do want a man to take lead. They do want a man to take charge, be that in the bedroom, be that financially, be that, you know, at home or when you go out. I don't even know what that freaking means, but yeah, no, that does make sense. Y'all get what I'm saying. If you go out, you want your man to lead the interactions, to decide where you guys are gonna go on the date. You don't want to be like, oh, I mean, you don't want a guy who's gonna just always put the decision on you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, babe, yeah, let's go out. Okay, I don't really care. Like, where do you want to go? What do you want to do? Like, I know y'all hate that. But, so I'm gonna get into I think I covered that enough. I'm gonna get into just my situations briefly and how I've seen the contrast of how things were before to one of my more recent situations, right? So, like I was saying, it's on us as men first. Like, our relationships are a mirror of ourselves. So, at the point in my life when I had no clue what I was doing, when I was just really out here just trying to get females and I was putting them at the forefront of my life, I wasn't leading my life in a way that would benefit me and was most, you know, conducive for my growth. I was attracting a lot of toxic relationships, and and I could see the contrast now because of what I've experienced. But at the time, it's like, you know, when I make a suggestion as something to do, it's like, oh, nigga, like, who is you, you know, kind of thing. And maybe not even to that extreme, because I don't want to be on here fabricating stuff, but it was more so just like they saw me as a joke, kind of. And it's funny to say, but it's anything that I'd say, like, oh yeah, let's link up, let's do this, it wasn't taken seriously, you know. And that led to a lot of flaky behavior from people that I was talking to, and just a lot of unwillingness to cooperate with my vision. Because why? I didn't really have a vision. My focus was on a lot of things that it shouldn't have been. I was doing a lot of things that I shouldn't have been, for lack of a better term. And I can't blame my past partners for not wanting to submit to that. Like, I wasn't someone that anyone should submit to, you know? And that's what I'm saying. Like, not every guy out there is worth your submission, you know? Because it's really a valuable thing. If it's used in a healthy context, in a good, strong relationship, it benefits both of y'all. You know what I'm saying? It benefits the man to have someone that's willing to cooperate with his vision and that's pushing him forward, right? And for the women, I mean, like, it makes your life easier too. You don't have to think about all these extra things like, oh yeah, what am I gonna do financially, and how am I gonna look out for myself, and like, oh, I want to go out, like, what do we, it puts less on your table. And the thing is, naturally, men we want to step into that. We don't mind being the leaders, but if it's on a female to be the leader and be the dominant one, she gets tired of it. That's just how it goes typically. So going from that situation, that was just a brief outline, but going from that situation to this girl that I was talking to earlier this year, and just seeing, you know, completely opposite kind of experience for me from what I was typically used to. I was used to what I just described from females, you know, a lot of times. Outside of the initial relationship, when everyone's willing to put forth their best foot, put their best foot forward. Jesus fucking Christ. Okay guys, it's starting to rain now, so I need to wrap this up. I'm not trying to get drizzled on pause. So yeah, fast forward to a relationship that I had earlier this year. I was talking to this female, and it was really interesting to see the stark contrast from how our whole relationship just went. I mean, it was brief, but when I was the one who initiated, you know, I made my approach. I was the one making the decisions, and just having someone that was willing to follow my decisions, and someone that was willing to be led. It was so refreshing. It was really refreshing to see, and it was something that I really needed, because now I know that's something that I want in my future relationships. But just completely non-combative, you know. Anytime I make a suggestion, she was just down. You know, And sometimes it wasn't even a suggestion. It was just like, hey, you know, we're about to do this, and she was with it, like boom, everything. And it wasn't that she had no say though, and I wasn't trying to control the situation at all. It wasn't like, oh yeah, I'm just being a yes man or yes woman, whatever. You know, she had her opinions, but she was willing to step into my world, to step into my reality, and submit and follow the things that I had going, right? But the thing is, it all started with me, you know? At that point, I was in a much healthier mental headspace. I had more vision, you know, for myself, and I was a lot more solid. I had a better foundation in who I was as a person, and, you know, the things I want to do and where I was going. A much stronger foundation in my masculinity. And like I was saying, masculinity leads, femininity follows. And just seeing, you know, how that was, and even how things are now when I interact with females just out in the real world, even ones I'm not interested in, it's a whole different energy about them, you know? And and it's just interesting. And I don't want to be out here too long, because it's about to rain. It's like a freaking rainforest out in this bitch, bro. So yeah, that's just been my video. I think I covered a lot, and I mean, leave y'all's thoughts in the comments. I really want to know what you guys think of this subject. And I think in closing that submission it's healthy. It's something that we need to get back to. But man, and you guys watching this, it's on you first and foremost. If you want to have a woman that's submissive to you, be that in the bedroom, be that in real world when you're out and about, you know what I'm saying? Y'all got to get on y'all stuff first, because it's not just gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? It's on us to lead. It's on us to get our lives correct first, and then naturally the feminine follows. Leave a like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and I'm gonna see y'all in the next one. Deuces.